because I maybe want to try and do a little bit of editing tonight. But at the same time, I thought it might be fun to just set up the OP-1 and do it on camera and talk a little bit about the OP-1 and how it works and what it does, and specifically, why is it a really important instrument to me? Why does it work so well for what I do and how I think about music, and kind of tie into how I think about music a bit. So that should be fun. But the first thing is, there we go. I want to listen to this in the background. I got this band. We do extemporal impromptu music. We're called Tetrahedron, like the shape. Out of Gibsons, BC, Canada. You can find our music everywhere. Spotify, SoundCloud. I'm not here to pitch that, but I have to edit these later, so I'm just going to listen to them playing kind of quietly in the background. Okay, here we go. This is the OP-1. So the OP-1 is a really beautiful, amazing instrument to me because, the first time that I ever saw it, I thought that it kind of it did everything that I thought that it needed to do, but then as I started working with it, I realized that it wasn't just what it could do, it was also the workflow. It was how things connected. It was how relatively quick and simple, how gamifying, essentially, it was the using of a basic synthesizer. And, on top of that, there's this kind of there's like a unique, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a unique crispiness to it. Like no matter what sound I put on it, I'm just happy with the sound. The quality of the sound. I'm happy with the quality of the sound. All right. So, how's this thing broken down? So, on the left-hand side, we have the synthesizers, the drum machine, the tape, the mixer, and over on here, we have the sequencer. So, okay, what does it do? First of all, this is the synth. This is the instrumental synth. It's the one that turns all of the keys into a keyboard. So that's where the music comes from. And, going into the sequencer, you can do things like program a key. Okay, so now I've got that chord that I just played. And if I play the bass position, which they call the C, so just think about the C as the middle. I mean, that's how you learn in music theory. This is the middle one. It's middle C. And you just learn that it's the one at the base of the two. And I mean, I think about music so much about the position of just one note. And it's totally arbitrary what that note is. It's just walking up and down this pattern, but just remembering this pattern. And this pattern could be anything, I could think about. That's why when I play the OP-1, sometimes I'll turn it sideways and I'll play it like this because I don't think about it always as a keyboard. Sometimes I just think about it as a row of buttons. And so the OP-1 really lines that stuff out all really well together. Okay, so every synth that we've got here, I can go shift 1, and then that gives me a list of all the synths that are in there. On this side, we have the different synth engines, and on this side, we have different presets that are programmed into there. And you can save your own presets as well. But in my case, we're trying to use this cluster. And if I want to try and make Mr. Legato. Love chords. Serious bass. That's kind of nice and round. All right. So how does this work? Well, it's somewhat color-coded, and most of the time, with each one, the color corresponds to the knobs. But basically, for me at least, the fun of it is that each synthesizer is a little game. How does it produce sound? Well, for the most part, I discover by playing with it. So this green one's some kind of filter. This one's adding more waves. This one's tuning it. That one's tuning it as well. Okay. So that's the tone that it produces. Okay, then we go into zone 2 right here. And then this is the filter, the 4-way filter that controls the attack, decay, sustain, and release. So the attack is how much it comes on. If you have it all the way over here, it takes a long time to swell on. If you have it over here, it comes on right away. Okay, decay. Decay is how much it falls off, if at all. If you set it to all the decay off, you just get a note. That's really low decay. That's really long decay. It's going to take a long time to fall off. It's kind of middle decay. Sustain. Sustain is where the note's going to drop to. So if you have it up here, it's just never going to drop. It's just going to keep being long. And then release. Release is release. How long will it release? How long will it hold for after I let it go? So if you want to make kind of a turn down your release, turn down your sustain. And I already think of these as A, D, S, and R because I don't know. I mean, this guy, it shows it as a little graphy thing, as a little like swoopy thing, and that's just a way of describing it, really, right? I mean, it's just a few parameters that exist. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Over on to 3, we've got our effects. There's a lot of different effects, and different ones are different for different purposes. Honestly, this cow is like the infinite if you really have no idea what to put on something and you just want to make it weird. Just get it on this guy. So that's the frequency of the note. Makes it higher or lower. Frequency is like how high or low it goes, right? Really high frequency up here, you go, ooh, don't like it. Okay, delay. So this is how many times it bounces around. Right? You can slow that down. As soon as you cross over 50, that's where you start getting into the zone where it zip, 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 zip. The sideband, that's how much you mix it in. If it's down here, it just kind of wings over. If you have it up here, it goes the other way. And then your feedback, that's how much effect you got on there. how long it lasts for. Pretty cool effect. Okay, what other synthesizers do we have here? Oh, digital. This one's kind of like a visual. I honestly don't understand very much other than, let's see, what can we figure out? So that kind of gives it like a buzziness. That adds a tone. I'm happy with that. And I don't know if this shape has any significance in terms of the sound, but you know, what it does remind me a little bit of is, you know, one of the things that I get asked a lot about from students is, how do you know which note is which? And I guess the answer really is, I don't always necessarily know which note is which, but I do know what the different notes sound like together in different ways. And that is because they have different elements to them that give them a sort of element to themselves that make them really distinct. And I think that a good example of this would be, I mean, I don't know if it's a good analogy, but I think about it like water, right? Water to you is not, you know, it's H2O. What's that? It's two hydrogen molecules and an oxygen molecule. To your experience of water, it is not two H's and an O. It's a wetness. But like the thing is that if you were a different size, if you were like the size of a bug, and the size of the molecules were like 100,000 times larger, then the actual makeup, the actual substance, the actual experience of that substance would be different fundamentally to you. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a certain substance to different chords from the basis of scale, of thinking about their harmonic structure together. Okay, how do I explain this better? Here's a note. It's an F, but that doesn't matter. I want a lower one. Okay, so this is an F, and this is an F. This is an F. This is an F. There's a harmonic on there. But it's that's the one we're looking for. That's F. That's an overtone. So within the compound of F sound, there's a whole bunch of other waves in there that exist there because of an actual physical shape that the waves create when they crash against each other. If you have a wave that's one length here, if you hear it and it's the same note but it's a step up, that one there, the waves are twice as fast. I don't know what the waves are of this one, but the closer you get down to F, you can actually start to hear it. Do you hear that? That's the crashing of the waves. That's a really slow frequency. Whoa, 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 whoa. As opposed to up here. It starts to hum and it starts to get lower. So that's all musical notes are. They're vibrations. And they're vibrations of a certain order. And the thing that makes them distinct from others is that they have a shape to them. And different notes have been identified essentially to... Sorry. Let's find something more neutral. Let's go into a polysynth. What I just did there, I went Shift 2, and that brings out the play mode, which is either a polysynth, that's where you can play multiple notes, up to 8 notes, a monosynth, where it only plays one note at a time, a legato, where it blends the notes together, and a unison, where it just plays a bunch of the note weights together. I'm not really sure. I like polysynths. Portamento is just how much it wobs into the note. The more polymento, the more wob. That's just a little bit of wob. That's none. It's basically nothing. I like it. Okay. So you imagine a note. And then the same note. Well, let's talk about a scale quickly. So, when it comes to learning music, and I'm really just talking about sort of Western style 12-key note music. The thing is that there's a lot of different ways of thinking about breaking up music, and I acknowledge that there's other ways to construct that. Western music as well being one of them. I think that there are fundamental elements to Western music and to other music which the harmonies are built off of. And the harmonies are sort of the cultural... I don't know how to describe this. It's like we just hear in different cultures and in different places and for different reasons and for different experiences. We can just hear different harmonies in different places. I think for the most part, people like harmony where people like harmony no matter what. I think it's a pretty much universal language. I like this type of breaking it down, but I also like playing around with noises and microtones and stuff's interesting as well. But for the basics of just thinking about the functional structure of the music, these two notes are an octave apart. They're on the same line. And so they're related. How are they related? Well, it turns out that the frequency, the waves of this one, are twice as long as the waves of this one. And this one's twice as long as the waves of that one. And that one's twice as long as the waves of that one. So I don't know how many waves they are. I'm sure there would be a quick way to check. But if this one's 100 hertz, this one's 200 hertz. If this one's 200 hertz, this one's 400 hertz. If this one's 400 hertz, this one's 800 hertz. Okay? So that works for all the notes. All the notes up. So no matter what your position is, everything that I'm about to say is the same. Okay? So from here, the fifth. The fifth is the fifth note in the major scale. It's also the fifth note in the minor scale. It's the fifth note. That has a very distinct da-da-da-da, dun, 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 and played together, it has a very distinct kind of reinforcing of the harmony. If you had that going, if you had that on a yeah. It's a very bum 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 bum. It's the power chord. The power chord. It's the fifth. It turns out the relationship of frequency of this one to this one is 3 to 2. Sorry, 2 to 1. 2 to 1. My mistake. Wait, no, sorry. This one's 2 to 1. This one's 3 to 2. 3 to 2. So that's 3 parts to 2 parts. So if this one's 200, this one is 300. And that works the whole way up. Yeah, and so on. So 2 to 3. So this one's 2 to 1. This one's 3 to 2. Then there's the fourth. The fourth is the fourth note of the major scale, and it's also the fourth note of the minor scale. It's another kind of fundamental frequency. This one has kind of a... This one's very reinforced. This one feels to me sort of... This one feels kind of inverted. It's like if this one's... It's like if this one's black, this one's white. It's like if this one's red, this one's blue. They have kind of an inversion to them. In the middle of them, by the way, that's dry tone. That's like the evil note. So you got strength on one side, strength on the other side of it. In the middle of it, sort of chaos. And you can stack those as well. And you just get these like weird chords. I like them personally. Anyway. So the relationship between these two, turns out that one is 4 to 3. So what's that? If this one's 300, this one's 360. I'm sorry, math isn't what I'm doing right now. And there are also harmonic relationships between these ones and this. So anyway, does it matter? Not really. What I'm really sort of trying to describe is, think about this, right? If this is a 2 to 1 ratio, then that's kind of like a, how would you think of that? It's like a circle. It's like if you want to try to think of the wave happening in a circle, as it would, you get this kind of, it's like a circle, but it's like arched in half. Okay, and then you get over to here, and this has kind of like a square structure to me. This one here over here has kind of a triangle structure to me. This one's just fuzzy. This one is bright. This one is darker. This is brighter. This is darker. This is suspended. This is close. So at that point, you've got all of those kind of colored. Now, what if I told you that every chord that you have from here is just building on the structures that I just described here melded together? So, for example, if I'm talking about a chord, and let's just use a chord, let's call it an F minor 7. That's a classification, a way of describing it. That chord is different from this one. This is just an F minor. An F minor on its own. Just sounds like an F minor to me. It's an F with a fifth for some structure and a minor coloring to turn it into sort of a minor triangle versus a major triangle. We've got a minor triangle. Okay, let's build something else. This guy is kind of like a minor triangle with a minor triangle. It's like a trapezoid. It's like a trapezoid of minor. Okay, keep putting trapezoids. Oh, now you've got a jazzy kind of thing going on. This is like a crazy... Alright, let's put on one more triangle. Yeah, see? So now you've just got this train of following this pattern of building. And then going down, 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 just adding the next note that kind of fits into the next triad of the next triad. We gotta, okay, that builds a triad with a fifth. Then from here we got a triad with a fifth. Then from here we got a triad with a fifth. Got a triad with a fifth. So it's just building these triad fifth back and forths for this coloring this. And I guess you could do this. That's like a 7-1. That's going major minor instead of minor major. Anyway, so in my opinion, if it comes down to learning ear, really focus on learning the difference between octaves and fifths, which are strong, and fourths, and majors, and minors, and seconds, and also, you know, there are other ones. You know, like if we're talking about sevenths, I think sevenths are cool for longer streams. Sixths are cool. Nines are cool. That's a 10, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's why this thing lays out so nicely for me. You know, I didn't even get into the drum machine here. Let me get into the drums here quickly. The drums are mostly a sample engine except for the synthesizer. So most of these are just sample packs that I've made. I just collect drums in different places and then map them out into here, which is a whole other process that I would like to show sometime. But anyway, I'm going to build a beat here, and I'm going to see where it goes. So thanks for listening to my rant. If you've been on here for at any time, I can't see you, but I'm going to build a beat here on this machine, and I'm going to keep throwing in some layers, and then I'm going to raise up the train here, raise up the camera, and I'm going to get into the looping machine. So thanks for sticking around. Oops. that sounds like it'll be cool. Really fast. After all that, I just turned it off anyway. Yikes. That's real flashy. Here, we just want the fade. I 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 just want the fade. Thanks for putting up with all my bullshit. I'm glad that it's still running. I like that I can just let it keep going. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even mind. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. No future. What do you gotta say about it? No future holds myself. Hooray, oh my. The song is in my mind. Okay, I told myself I wasn't going to turn on the piano. I was going to try and limit everything I did to these two. But I just love the piano. And it's just lying here in front of me. You can't see it, but I can. And so, I want to play the piano. 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 I want to play the piano Jams. I forgot all about the jams. Hold on. We'll come back to the jams. That's a good point. I'm going to finish this though. Now I'm just thinking about the jams. I'm going to put them on. Here we go. Okay. There was one that I was very happy about. And, you know, props to Steven for, like, just giving it on the bass. So, Steven could just tap the bass, which, I mean, I can't tap the bass. So, I'm glad that we have that in this band. I think, see, what I want from this band is for us to just keep throwing random ideas and keep expanding and keep exploding and keep getting crazier at it, because like cool music comes out of it. It's super fun. So here we go. Guitar, Steven on bass, Scotty on drums, and singing. the beginning. I'm going to see if I can play piano along to this. Or even, okay, what we got? No, he didn't know what he said. He didn't know what he said. I had to go so quick. Lost his crazy mind. Everybody knows it's time. I don't believe it's any kind. I don't believe in reasons. Don't see it easy. Don't see it easy. Make your life up and I don't see it any queasy. Come on, man. Again, this is Tetrahedron. Check out Tetrahedron everywhere you can find it. From Gibson's, BC. Alright, what else we got? Ebbs and flows. Oh, you can hear that's the haunted synth. It's this. Wait, where did I put it? I had it a second ago. Excuse me. Haunted.
Got all this background noise.
Thanks, folks.